Hello, good evening, everybody. Well, we finally made it to next year, which is a bit crazy to say, with all the craziness we had last year, and we're finally there. We finally have arrived, and below and behold, no big surprise. We've been starting to see more of a corrective sort of behavior from the market. As usual, we're gonna go over the regular culprits. We're gonna look at the S&P, see what we can see. Those who've been following, been on last lives, and especially in the Hangout, because last week I think we did not close the week with a video, if I remember correctly, but we did have a Hangout. I brought sort of, broke down all the analysis. I showed the members. We were sitting on the Discord, by the way. Shout out to the Discord members, to all the new members, by the way. Plenty of new joining people. So, by the way, we locked the founding layer. That's it. It's all locked. You can go and see on Patreon. So from here on out, just the new tiers. Greg, have we entered the bear market or what? It's a very interesting question, and I would love to tell you that yes, but I will tell you something more. I'll tell you that we've been in this bearish transition for the last year, really. And you're like, Greg, we kept on rallying last year. What are you talking about? It doesn't work all that straightforward. Usually, the market, especially on the larger sort of structure, or if you look at the really bigger picture, the cycles, you will recognize that these processes take a lot of time. Sometimes they can overshoot certain supports and resistances, regardless of how strong the levels are. And so it's very hard to determine whether we are in what you would define as bearish period, but definitely it appears to be that this is a culmination of a long sort of ongoing process that we've been going towards, and now we're seeing more or less it's starting to actually play out. And so it's not all that surprising that we're seeing that bearish momentum. But does that mean from here on out it's just going to be straightforward down? No, it's nothing works this way. Even on the uptrend, we usually have corrections. Everything is more of a process, a back and forth. So again, just the same way we go up, the same similar way we go down, even though going down, oftentimes it does appear that we move far quicker than we move upwards. Tom and I, we have both of us, just people in the market in general have their own analogies. I say we gain in droplets and lose in buckets. So we basically go up, we gain price upwards very, very slowly and deteriorate and drop very, very rapidly. So that's, on the grand scheme of things, that's how things play normally, but it does not mean it's going to be straightforward down. We have many supports and resistances to be tested before we actually can determine whether this sort of downwards greater movement has begun. I would argue that there's more to it than just simply saying, oh, we had seen a couple of red days, that means the end of the world is coming. But with that in mind, that's what we're here for, to see what the markets are showing us and whether they're far more bearish or far more bullish, right? I warn you, already previewing some of the time frames, some of the things may appear a bit misleading, at least for the time being, because the price action just started happening, and so it will appear on certain levels as bullish, while my argument that it's bearish, but then still we're going to tackle it as it is, what it appears to be at face value, okay? So 1 minute is, well, you know what, let's do 1 minute regardless, because we actually have roughly about an hour and 20 minutes to go. Based upon this, we're of course right now very clearly testing the short range median right here, which is diagonally going this way. We can argue this junction right here, the 58.50, which is not all that surprising. That gives us this level. Probably going to get tested and retested. We have that 58.53 level we spoke about in the community and mentioned several times. Not all that surprising. So we're kind of playing the supports and resistances we've mentioned in the community. Actually quite impressive. I didn't foresee that today we will see that 58.29. We more so forecasted to see this tomorrow, but we ended up actually making it without getting stuck for too long at 58.53. So we got to test actually both of these levels, which is already good. We had sort of proper movement. So that means we have all the gaps, all the little leftover remnants that we had in this vicinity, if we had any, completely closed and basically done with. We still have a couple of gaps right above us. We still have these two forces, but I would argue that these are not that of an issue, because as soon as we're going to go up and correct to the upside, which inevitably at some point will happen to the market, they will be close. So oftentimes we're not that worried about downwards movement. We're more so downwards gaps rather. We're far more worried about gaps to the upside. These will have to then move back and forth to close them, oftentimes creating newer gaps on top of these, just the way the market works. So that is the 1 minute. The 1 minute is not all that special. We're not seeing nothing sort of out of the ordinary. We're seeing that we're probably going to test this zone within which we're already and have been testing throughout the day. Maybe there is a chance that we will deteriorate back to 58.29 right here, 58.30, call it if you really want to. Right now it is kind of stuttering. Right here you can see it appears to be on a shorter range, that it's far more likely to go down, but let's confirm it. Let's continue, see what the larger time frames are giving us, and that'll be easier to discern what's really going to happen. 5 minutes, obviously bearish at face value. We have some time for this, so that actually does allow us to probably get back to that 58.29 given this structure, if we're not going to waste too long in the overbought territory, which we are already appearing to be turning around and moving into the body. Once we make it to 50, the 50 region, of course, we'll see the bearish momentum accelerate, and if we actually make it into oversold territory, it will become significantly amplified, giving us easily this 58.29. Do we have enough time for it? Actually, I would argue that barely so much. We kind of have roughly what we need exactly to do that, so I'd argue this appears to be what we will be doing towards the end of the session. Of course, it does not mean we will not hit or break off of 58.29 altogether, but it appears to be that this is the general direction of the market, at least based upon the 5 minutes. Let's see the 30 minutes, the half hour, whether it confirms really what we're seeing. By the way, shout out to all my admins and moderators. You got them legend. Christoph, thank you very much for being here pretty much every single time. And, with all the little shout outs and sort of tweets into the realm of, guys, smash the like and all that beautiful stuff. Really, please do. It's absolutely free. Tremendously would appreciate it. Why not? I mean, if you don't like it, cool. Dislike. I don't have a problem. But, yeah, if you do appreciate what I'm doing here, show the little bit of appreciation by smashing the like. It's just that easy, just a button, and it's free. Tremendously appreciate it. Now, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is already actually bearish at face value. Bearish with some bullish momentum. So sort of kind of we're getting relief. It actually makes sense. Here is your bearish momentum that we had, sliding into oversold territory, giving us some relief. We're trying back that 58, 53. So far, I think it's self-explanatory. Most of you have been around for quite a while and understand how these things work, and basically how the smaller sort of time frames are basically work their way into the scheme of the larger time frame, and that way we can see partially how we make basically step by step in a particular direction, right? We kind of build a work plan, if you will. Right now, it's very interesting actually on the 45 minutes, which most of you know, we will be able to discern what's really going on here in the 1 hour. And well, at face value, it is bearish, and so tugging towards the oversold, but we are seeing bullish momentum's interference. So it is, we're seeing potentially convergence very shortly here, and if we're going to see convergence at 20, it will sort of stop the deterioration of the price action. Will probably get us locked in within that range I've mentioned before. That sort of makes sense what we're seeing right here. Does that mean it's not? Well, of course we understand it's not permanent, and let's see what the hourly sort of implies to us. The hourly very much similar, but sort of slower, if you will. So the hourly actually confirms what we're seeing for the 45 minutes. We're probably going to be moving up and down, testing this 58.29, 58.53, probably at least once more. It seems sort of this, what it implies. Does that mean certainly that's what's going to be the case? Well, we don't know. We will see what the larger time frames are saying. Those are, of course, more dominant and will project what it is more likely that we'll see through a longer period. But this is for these upcoming, well, tomorrow, basically. For right now, we're looking at this. We're looking at tomorrow. Mainly, we're looking at the end of today's session and maybe tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow will be smarter to see what really it entails on the 1 hourly. The 4 hour, we should have been able to guess that much, seeing the 1 hour, how it's structured. It's sort of the same thing, but just amplified. So we're not really seeing any, which also makes sense. We've seen the direction of the movement all throughout the last week and a half, and so we were prepared for the price action to actually continue deteriorating into oversold territory. So at face value on the 4 hour, which is comparable to our daily, we're still going downwards. In fact, I would argue that soon, very soon, we will see amplification of that downwards volume slash momentum, and so subsequently we will see more likely slippage from that 58.29 over to 58.15. We've mentioned this in the community, spoke about this in depth, or 58.09 really. And if it's going to be really painful, which actually can easily happen, we're more likely than not to see 5800 flat, which we actually spoke about again in the community, in the Discord today, and on the previous hangouts we've mentioned how this is the most likely range that we're going to get to. What else? So by the way, you know what? If I'm already there, why not? Let's do a little shout out to my Patreon. A huge shout out to all my Patreon members, those who are right now, right here with us watching, and those who will be watching later. I'm tremendously grateful to all of you, the new participants, the old participants, all of you all together. Quick shout out to the Patreon. This is the link you use to sign up. If anyone can throw it in the links, Christoph, if you can, please, thank you. Patreon, actually, you know what? Instead of me being stupid, I'm gonna do that. Christoph, just ignore me. Just ignore me being stupid. Here it is. Here it is, boys and girls. Use this link to sign up. All new tiers, if they will be nice to appear at some point here. Here they are. Right. So the new lower tier is that $20 tier with the Patreon 1-star. Of course, these are currently basically mainly focused on whoever wants to contribute more, really, but it will grant you more benefits as we go. I'm kind of working these things out right now, and mostly it will be in form of one-on-one sessions. Of course, the larger the tier, the more time you will get on a weekly basis. Don't forget to click that change over to that annual to get a 15% discount, so you'll pay $17 instead of $20. That is it. So yeah, huge shout out to all the members, and thank you for all the new members who just joined. What else? Let's continue. So the daily, let's see what we're seeing on the daily. By the way, it's very important, and I think we spoke and mentioned how it is very likely that we're going to see slippage out of the channel and how we're actually starting to break down. And that will be a hint that we're going to see far more bearish momentum in the price action in the upcoming sessions rather than bullish. Something that I've been mentioning on the daily, I've been saying, guys, look, it's going to amplify. Something that we saw, I was saying all along how we will see sort of this transition. Now we got the transition. It's all perfectly working out as expected. Now we're continuing into oversold territory. Notice that we're holding below 50. In other words, we're holding that bearish momentum. So it is very, very much confirming what it is that we saw on the smaller time frames, and confirming what I predicted, that we will be deteriorating somewhat rapidly. Again, I'm not going to mind, and I will not consider it a fail, even if we will end up actually making it into these levels right post my bubble. That wasn't the point. It was kind of to point out the direction we're moving in. It doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly as expected, even if, for all I see, again, to each their own, I consider this to be a win if I'm correct, and we will be ending up here in the following sessions. Probably next week, more likely than just tomorrow. I think tomorrow, more or less, we're going to be stuck within these ranges, probably still retesting. And then on next week, we're going to be seeing these 57 levels that I've mentioned. 58, 57. I'm not saying we're going to be breaking all the way to 57 next week. I'm just saying that we're potentially going to be seeing the 57 levels, of course, because we have multiple supports and resistances on our way. I would argue that the vast majority of them will be tested. Subsequently, we'll end up closing some of these remnant gaps that we had from before, leftover stuff, chores that we had. Slowly but surely we'll end up, I think, within the following weeks at around 5,700 range, while closing some of these gaps as presented right here. Again, I could be wrong. This is just my own projection, not financial advice. You boys and girls, you do you. That's just my own sort of projection and opinion, meandering thoughts based upon what I'm seeing in the market. All right, that's that. That's that. All right, now. Weekly is not that much surprise to us because it's kind of doing what we've expected it to do. In fact, it's kind of scary what we're seeing, the divergence between the two forces and basically how dominantly bearish we are right now, which we can kind of see that we're bearish because we're actually breaking away from that median and probably about to test these lows. Remember, we're talking about 5,700 area. Maybe, you know what, will you guys and girls hate me if I'll slightly adjust it? Because I mean, we all know, you know what, I'm not gonna adjust it. Screw that. I'm gonna let it be exactly where it is. I just shrunk it a little bit. I didn't move it, as you saw. I didn't move it. Okay, so it's still exactly where it is. And you know what, I'm not gonna be that mad if basically we'll end up this candlestick round, which means next week. Again, to me, it's still a win, and I still got it right. To each their own. You judge it as you will. So yeah, my assessment is that basically slowly but surely we're moving towards that 5,700, which coincidentally matches with the bottom of the channel, and so that is just kind of very normal for us, as you know, those who've been around. And yeah, I do think, based upon what we're seeing on the larger time frames, and here it is, let's talk about it. Of course, our monthly is quickly deteriorating into the body of the stochastic RSI, implying more negative movement. It's not necessarily going to be all that quick and right away. Of course, it's going to take some time until we break all the way to the 50 range, at which it's going to become a little bit more bearish. And once we do make it all the way to the bottom into oversold territory, subsequently, just like on the smaller time frames, we're going to see amplification of this behavior. And so this is potentially just the beginning. In fact, we know not to trust it right away. We know these sort of behaviors can happen, and so let's not jump to conclusions right away. Let's see how things will pan out. But for the time being, it does appear that we're becoming more bearish steadily, and well, potentially gonna have deterioration of the price action. On the quarterly, this is where things become a little bit sketchy. I would argue because these candlesticks are completely brand new and fresh, and we are still in the vicinity of these very same levels at which we closed. We are not yet seeing what necessarily you would expect to see. But in reality, I will tell you that we are seeing what we should see. We are seeing the convergence of the forces. The worst it's going to get, based upon what we saw on the smaller time frames, which we understand it will spill over eventually, right? It will take, of course, some time for it to actually pan out, and then we're going to see this spill over to the larger time frames. And I would say it is a hint to how we can see the deterioration of this bullish trend at 80, which we know oftentimes signifies an actual bullish trend separation, sort of to what an actual bullish trend to a pseudo bullish trend. So if we're going to stay below the 80, this is actually sort of hints at you that what I've been saying all along is correct, but of course it's going to take some time to show. Again, I would argue, and I would make it sort of a very important point, that this tool, this is one of its shortcomings. It's unable to show you in real time, especially on larger time frames, when the switch over is happening, unless you understand what it is that you're seeing on the smaller time frames. That is why I have my one-on-one academy, in which I teach in-depth, advanced technical tools and how to analyze, why to measure certain things. And by the way, warning, a lot of spots have been taken. In fact, if I think about it, I'm not certain whether I have 2 or 3 spots left. So hurry up. Discounts are over. It is what it is. Should have been signing up, when the discount was there. Still, regardless, I would argue now more than ever, these tools will become more and more detrimental to you to understand what it is that's happening in the market, and for you to even potentially be able to pick up later down the line at the appropriate prices, not to be misled to, picking up falling knives. that get bounced, or whatever it is that you want to call it as, and pretend that whatever bullshit that's going on right now, when in reality the methodology has been established a long time ago. It's very well known. It works. You can ask my students in the Discord community. There's a big portion of them that you can find them and identify them by their roles. In fact, let me show you quickly and simply how it looks right here. Of course, don't use it from the phone. From the phone, it's far less efficient. Hey, Judy, what are you doing there hanging out on your own when everybody's right here on the call? Live. I'll have to check it out. But you can see you have the members list. This is how you turn it on, right? This little two little people, the little two little dudes. Hello to everybody. Here it is, Tom, brother from another mother, the one and only that got me to have this wonderful channel in the community. And these are the Academy members. Not all of them have majored. Of course, you can identify the other ones that are currently not online. Just simply go to the main chat. Feel free to ask. Their experience with the academy, their opinions, their thoughts. Also, by the way, academy members who graduated, you'll do me a big solid one if you will post your testimonials. I've actually made a new channel that the rest of the Patreon members can see. They cannot write. Only Academy members can leave their testimonials and experiences in my academy right here, and so future students or potential students will be able to read that and have sort of that point of view without bugging you back and forth. So join my awesome growing community that is I don't remember, like 100+ members at this point, quickly growing to be 200. Of course, the more the merrier, right? And join the community. Don't miss out on that wonderful thing. Market go up next week after. I see you, Bedwars Gang. I'm gonna tackle your question in a second once we finish everything here. Again, we are not seeing really a big change on the 6 months, other than a slight sort of convergence of the forces, maybe slightly moving towards convergence, but nothing all that detrimental. So for now, like I said, some of you maybe have expected to see the whole thing break down, and well, no, that's not how it works. It takes a little while for the thing to actually start printing results based upon the smaller time frames. As you can imagine, the following weeks will be very detrimental for how this candlestick looks like, and subsequently all the larger time frames. Of course, most of you are super curious about the 12-month and are looking at this and like, Greg, this is bullish. Does that mean the market is going to rally? Well, I would argue that before you jump to conclusions, remember this candlestick is literally 1 day old. Okay, 1 day old. We just looked at all the time frames all the way to here. 90% of them look like there is a lot of pain in the way, and it's going to be like super unpleasant. So I would not jump to conclusions with this one, because this one takes quite a while to print and actually show what it is that's going on. And I would argue that this will open back up, and we will see this basically pointing to the downside very shortly, and the more bearish we will become, the closer we get to 50, the 50 range, that very line, the closer we get to it, the more painful it's going to get. The second we cross it, the market will go tits up. Okay, let's just kind of have that in mind. Okay, so like I said, it's gonna get slightly confusing towards the end, but you guys and girls know not to jump to conclusions and to be too emotional about what a day old candlestick. Okay, even if it's a very important one, still it's just 1 day old. Okay, cool. Now, coolsies, as a very smart character in some smart show said. We go up like a balloon cause full of hot air, and fall like a stone cause gravitation of reality. Yep. You, sir, is 1000 IR Baboon correct. You said it very nicely. I couldn't have not phrased it any better, sir. Thank you. That's the market scarecrow pattern. Alrighty, scarecrow pattern. Okay. So yeah, it scares the living shit out of you. Happy New Year, everyone. That is true, Blackberry. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy whatever you're celebrating. I just hope you spent it with good people, friends and family. And if you don't have any, I hope you at least abducted some pleasant people to hang out with. Yeah. You guys know it's an inside joke. Come on. Do you think that the market will go up a little next week after returning to the office? Good question, Bedwars gang. Probably, possibly, but it's gonna be still more within the realm of a retest and a correction on the downwards movement. So right now, what we're seeing, based upon what we're seeing on the shorter time frame, it appears to be that even if we're going to move, let's say, 10 points down and then correct 4 up, all together we're still 6 down. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to play out. Of course, we always have some form of correction. Will it happen next week? I can't tell you that yet, because right now it appears to be more bearish than bullish, just to be objective. Especially on the beginning of next week. I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, no. Right now it's printing more negative, more bearish than bullish. So I hope so. I want to buy more triple Q. Casey, smart. I'm here. I'm here, Judy. Okay, gotcha, Judy. I thought you were. We were hanging out earlier. We had quite a fun hangout today with the members on the Discord, and you were not there. And when no one's there, you're just sitting there by yourself. And I was like, wait, what? Why? Hello, joining late. Life gets in the way. Absolutely, Leo, sir. You are my super duper #1 fan after the falling out of Brad, which he promises that he's still alive and is gonna get back to us. He's just super busy with life and stuff. I still love him a lot, like a true friend, because he's a very, very smart dude and very pleasant dude to hang out with. And I hope he will be back. And then you're gonna have some competition. But for now, Leo, you are a #1 fan. What do you mean, bro? I'm, no issues, no issues. Tesla has 2 gaps around 260 and 230 for October and November. Yeah. I wonder, will it now go and close these, or am I too ahead of myself? Johnny, you are maybe somewhat a bit ahead of yourself in that sense that, well, no, you're not in that sense that we spoke about this. Johnny, what do you mean? We know that is like 60% probability even at this stage that we're going to see these gaps closing, right? We already see that. But how close and how soon that will be, that is a whole different thing. In fact, you know what, Johnny, why not? Let's give it a look. Tesla is definitely our usual suspect, right, as we call it. And let's take a look. I mean, it's already starting to look bad. 45 out of the channel. 1 hour out of the channel, deteriorating, building, new channel oversold, so definitely going down. What do we say? Our nearest support, that is a rather dominant one, we know is a 328.32 right there, so that's your number, 38. Let me just move that a little bit so you can see. 32. 300, god damn it, 328.32. That is your very next strong support. I would in fact argue that right now you are residing within a rather strong level. It's a form of a short range golden pocket, and so you're probably within it, if I'm not mistaken, assessing the ranges. And of course, I would argue that we're going to be deteriorating to that 260 that is mentioned. Testing 260, 273.96, and so we will be testing these levels for quite a while. These levels will be very strong, and I would argue that we'll end up hating them, in fact, for some time. Of course, I don't think we're gonna just slip through the 328. I would argue that we'll be testing it for a long time. Based upon the channel and structure right now, it appears to be that we're going to be testing it throughout the entirety of the upcoming month. So, yep, get ready for that. Get ready for a fun month. Maybe then we'll be testing back up to around 350, testing some psychological levels. Don't forget we have 350 somewhere around right here. It is actually, just to point it out, Let me just be a little bit more precise about that, like this. So of course, don't forget we're going to have 300. So we have an entire array of things to be tested before we're going to get to 260. I know wishful thinking and all that beautiful stuff, and the market does look very bearish, but it's not going to be straightforward. It does appear that the very next move is upcoming and very close. I would argue the very next move will bring us right there. Maybe I just exaggerate. It should have just done this. That's going to be the very next move. It appears to be, or maybe like that. That's gonna work better for us. You see that beautiful stuff, right, like that. Okay, so basically you see how it all matches at 328. So that's the upcoming movement, and in fact I would argue that the way this all looks, we might be still doing something akin to this before it all breaks down. So don't jump to conclusions, but for now it is very bearish, clearly bearish, and a little bit more bearish. So bearish. Did we say bearish? We said bearish. So bearish on all time frames, that all the way through. Bearish, quite bearish, and more bearish. And for it to overturn, you're going to need the entire market to overturn, which we're not seeing happening in the near-term future. That is that. What else? What else? What are we doing with regard to Palantir? We want to check out Palantir here. Is that it's doing that thing that we don't want it to do right here? Oh. Just as we've expected, just as we projected. Oh, that's like pulling your pants all the way up to your neck. Okay, let's not do that. That's going to be unpleasant, a bit choky. So that is obviously ain't good for ya. And it even opened up more than we seen it last time. So we're seeing that it becomes more. I mean, that still shows that you might be testing back up to that these 80, but on the grand scheme of things, you're definitely gonna be having a lot of unpleasant time in the near-term future. Here it's hugging the ceiling already, so it's probably gonna blow up once the indices start pulling lower. If we're gonna be really nitpicky about it and really look up close and personal, we're gonna realize it's actually quite unpleasant. So you think Tesla will retest 400 in the near future? Yes, absolutely, Bedwars gang. That is what I think. I could be an idiot, which we all know I am an idiot, but it still does appear so to my idiot brain and eyes and analysis and things and stuff. So yeah, finally made it. Better late than ever. Aqua, how you doing, Miss Mama? How you do? That is your alter account. So yeah. Alrighty. So what were we saying? Yeah, I mean, we're not really, there's not a lot of surprises for us. We kind of covered all of this stuff last week. There's nothing really here that we haven't. What did I just do? Did I just do something? Okay. So nothing that really have not covered yet. All supports and resistances are playing out as expected. For example, Disney, we spoke about them in depth the last couple of weeks. We're starting to see slight deterioration post-testing that 114, which we know we have a level right here. Why am I not seeing my level? Okay, I'm almost like that. So yeah, we have another level right here to be tested, so don't forget about that, which we know is a strong psychological level. 100, very clean, nice, neat number, which we know going to get tested soon. Then we have our 70 that we spoke about. We also have I think what is that, 95? It appears to be, I would argue, around 95. Let's just call it 95 for the sake of simplicity. Let's just call it 95, like that. So not to confuse the two. You can see how beautiful it sits right there. Why it's there? It's actually a. I would argue that is a retracement level. It's not. It's not a psychological level. So it's not 95 because it's 95. More so, it's well. Actually, it could be, given that it's under 100. It still is respecting the fives. Mm, you did these. You did these. Yes, you did these. Very good. Very true. Do you think Tesla growth is over for January? Privet, Greg. Murat, hello. Tesla growth. Yes, I would argue that it appears so. For Tesla right now, it appears so. If we're looking at the weekly chart, it appears to be that it's far more bearish, and so growth, no. In fact, if anything, this area will be remembered as retesting the 420. 420, stoner number. Ha ha. Don't get me started on this stupidity. But, I mean, jokes aside, that's kind of it. And yeah, we are breaking down, and so it appears to be that on the monthly it's going to get just worse from here on out. Even if there will be some run-ups up and down a little bit here and there, don't be misled. Don't be too emotional. Don't be a child. Of course, you do you. I am not planning to buy anytime soon. I'm waiting for this thing to blow past 260, and then I'm going to start considering to start slowly DCAing, just not to get screwed out. Considering. That does not mean that will be the case. When we're going to get closer, I'll be smarter and more objective to tell you that fact. But right now, definitely a big down price action. I'm not going to be surprised if I will see the market have this weird rally to close back up that remnant chore that we have around 400. But you're lucky if you got that, and from there on out, it's, you know, shingles for you. Yeah. Yes, hit the like, everyone. I am highly, tremendously spasiba. Very good. Yes, I was just about to say very big spasiba for you, which is a thank you if you press the like and ring the bell and transfer to everything and all that. And I highly recommend you do that. That way you'll be more up to speed on what's going on in the market. I go live. I try to go every day. I still am a human being and I have so many things I do, from managing 2 communities. In fact, actually 4, but, you know, just to kind of give a little shout out maybe to some of my friends here. There's my Discord. There's Tom Discord, which I manage, of course, and handle. There is Rebecca Barsef, that she talks about geopolitics and stuff that has to do with Israel and the whole war thing. Those who are interested, I highly recommend to check it out. A friend of mine that his name is Old Smoky, really cool dude. He covers MRE, meals ready to eat, and just kind of military rations and stuff like that, and cool things of that nature. Really cool, awesome, tight-knit community, really awesome people. Highly recommend his YouTube channel if you're into that sort of stuff. And of course my YouTube channel, of course the analysis, the Discord, the community, the members, my one-on-one academy, all that's going on. I have a lot going on in between, so forgive me if I'm slightly behind sometimes and maybe skip a day or two, but I definitely make an effort to go live every day. Join the community. How do you join the community? The Discord is 100% private. The way to make in is to sign up for these tiers. These tiers will grant you gradually more private one-on-one time with me. Of course, you don't have to. You can sign up on the lower tiers, which is if you switch this wonderful little ticker to 15 to annual, and you pay right away for the whole year. You basically get rid of the thing right away, and you pay 15% off, and so it becomes $17 instead of 20. Accumulatively, it's pretty nice, pretty decent discount. And yeah, that's it. So that's it with the shout outs. Thank you, nannies, for reminding me. Every time I do a shout out, a couple of people drop off. It's just phenomenal. It's like people really cannot stand a couple of seconds of me plugging my community. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's just insane, I gotta say. I just find this mysterious. Hopefully this year my channel will grow and YouTube will stop being not cool with me. I've been trying to get the spin code for the last like 4 or 5 months now, which is insane. It's just crazy insane that it takes that long to send me a goddamn code. I'm just gonna point that out. And those of you who are like, maybe they don't know exactly the address and this and that, you point it out on the map. You literally, just for them not to get it wrong, you point it out on the map. Alrighty, so boys and girls, let's see. I think today we're gonna start adjourning today's session. Everybody I see finding this pretty hilarious. I Greg wife went to sleep, so no, I came to your stream. I gotcha. Hackers got red-handed. I appreciate you joining in, regardless. Beware, we got hackers in here. No, it's our hackers. It's our hackers. It's good. We like them. So how about sell Tesla shares and get more Nvidia before 13th of January? I wouldn't do either, but I mean, look, you do you. Again, you can't ask me what to do, Murat. I keep on saying, stop asking that. I cannot give you financial advice, nor do I want to. You're a big boy or a big girl or a big Sasquatch or whatever you are. You make your own decisions, okay? But I can point out what it is that I see, and I can tell you that both do not look all too healthy for me, as we've discussed, and they all pointing out towards a correction. Although Nvidia is slower than the rest, so far I gotta give it to Palantir and Nvidia. They're actually taking their sweet ass time and really dragging their feet, like not like the rest. So they really are not in a hurry. I know it's very volatile, but they are dragging their feet. And so yeah, it does appear that they're going down, and you make your own decision. Maybe you want to load up. Maybe in your mind, in your strategy, the right way to go about things is just start buying, with both hands. It's not for me to say what it is that you should be doing. We make it a very clear point in the community that I do not give financial advice. Okay, no one should, nor should you listen to people who try to give you. You should just listen to what sort of absorb what you see everywhere, and then draw your own conclusions. You're a big girl or a big Sasquatch, as we said. Big boy, big girl, big Sasquatch. Of course, it's not a financial advice, Greg, just opinion. Again, you do you. I'm just showing you opinion. Opinion is what we see and what I discuss. You do you. When it comes to your actual portfolio management, you do you. Can you show support on KULR? That's going to be the last one, Judy, then, because we really need to run. We really need to run. I have a lot of stuff to tend to, but let's see. Okay. KULR. I think we've done it before. I mean, if it comes to support and resistances, I think we've covered this before. Let's see what we have here. And, well, that's weird. I'm pretty sure we had it set up. In fact, I remember saying moving to logarithmic, doing the whole setup and everything. Oh, is that the story here? So, obviously you have your resistance there-ish, but I would argue that it's actually lower. It's exactly where we're located right now, which could be an outcome of something. Look, at this range, honestly, you have a support and resistance roughly about every 10 cents, really, especially at major turning points like $3, $2.5, $3.5, $2. So subsequently, I would say your nearest strong support would be $3. Subsequently to that would be, of course, where the channel is, so we're saying 185 and 187, 190 kind of, which matches the $10 sort of 10 cent every 10 cents scheme. And then you have you're gonna have your $1.50. We said you're gonna have $2.50, which matches with this. So you're gonna have two still. All the round neat numbers between here and every 10 cents. So it's pretty simple, actually, Judy. With this sort of asset, it's pretty simple. to be honest. It's a very cheap asset, and so it's going to be very the minutia between these minor levels will appear to be as if it's gradually growing somewhere, but still you do respect pretty much every 10 cents, as crazy as it sounds. But of course, more so the round needs strong numbers like the $3 and the 2.5 and $2, two, three, subsequently, and all that. That is that. Which means such a short time. Well, no one would like to. Hackers, can you please look at the QQQ as well? Bad Words Gang, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to do the QQQ in the community, but the QQQ is identical to the SPX. I've already done it in a way. It is, if you roll back, it is identical to the SPX. I promise you, it is just literally identical. We've covered this so many times, guys. These things are, we had this chart for a reason, to point out how identical it all is. I sadly do need to run. I have some errands I need to run before we get to Tom's live, because boys and girls, don't forget we have another live soon. In the community hangout tomorrow or later today, you're more than welcome. We can go over that QQQ individually, but it's pretty much identical. It is pretty much identical. Need to know when to buy a triple Q. You should have already been in, Bad. Don't do that. We definitely don't discuss that one in the lives. To each their own. Everybody does what they think is right. And in fact, you know my attitude towards this. Don't do as Crazy Greg does. It's then why are you doing this? It looks like drawing dragon chart pattern. That is a dragon eating an alligator being eaten by a big spider-like creature. That is what it is. This is pattern, crooked ass pattern. I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble because of that one. I want more. I want more. You will get more in the community, I promise. I sadly do need to run. I have some errands, and we do have a Zoom call with Tom in about 40 minutes, so you're going to get plenty more. Plenty more. Don't worry about it, bad words. All right. Love you all, boys and girls. See you on the Discord. Don't forget, you have to join the Patreon to be eligible to join the Discord. Of course, feel free to go for the lower tiers if you don't feel like you want to have one-on-one time with me throughout the month. To each their own, it's up to you. That's it, boys and girls. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now, or on the Discord, of course. Very important to say that. Bye for now. Cheers. Have a great evening. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah.